Welcome to Nothing Ventured, Nothing Game. I'm your host with most, your GM Jared, and today I'm joined by Fabio.
That's me.
And we are currently playing Wrath of the Righteous, which came out for Pathfinder 1st Edition many moons ago, but we are converting it to Pathfinder 2nd Edition because we really love the Pathfinder 2nd Edition rule set, and we really loved the Wrath of the Righteous story. Well, I did as the GM, I got to read it, but all my players got to kind of know a little behind the scenes what they will be doing, so they wouldn't make characters that didn't fit the scenario. Now, Fabio, why don't you tell us who you'll be playing, their ancestry, their class, and kind of like who they are.
Sure. I will be playing Henny LeBeau. Henny is a human swashbuckler, and basically the way that I look at Henny is your master thief, master swindler, card sharp extraordinaire. He's that type of guy. He's the person that you never want to play a hand of poker with. You don't trust in the casino unless he's on your team. He's the guy that knows how to get in and out of a situation, and he does so with exquisite flair and panache. No pun intended for playing a swashbuckler, right? So, Henny is he's that suave, debonair, just fun, just kind of try to charm the pants off of you if you can't, slice through him. That type of character.
Awesome sauce. Now, in the prequel, Henny had a voice, and I believe you were the only one at the table to do a voice. And where did that voice come from? Who inspired that voice, or what inspired that voice?
So when we were doing the created character, we were all sitting at the table, we were all just thinking of things, right? We had all drank just a little bit, just tiny little bit, right? And that little bit of liquid courage gave me some fuel to get everything percolating, everything moving around. And the thing that came to mind was Gambit. Like I always wanted to play. In my normal life, I'm a charismatic guy. Part of what I do is just talking all day long, right? So I actually wanted to play a character that kind of played off that. Most of my other characters, were kind of to themselves, so they were always directed on a cause. This one, I said, you know what? Let's let the flair out. Let's let the energy out. So looking at Gambit, Gambit has that, that New Orleans draw, that Southern draw with a little bit of hint of Creole. So I was really trying to bring that to life and best that I can. I have family from the South, so part of it's easy, but it's still, a work in progress. So for anybody that's from NOLA out there, I apologize if my accent sounds terrible. I'm working on it. All right. This is my first time ever trying to do anything even remotely close. All right. So yeah, a lot of it's that type of, Southern draw. I got accents from Gambit as well as like Doc Holliday. Right. Those are like influences that I keep in my mind. Like whenever I think of Henny, I think of Gambit. I think of Doc Holliday. I think of, people from the South that have like that charismatic but like educated type of, speak. Right. Like it sounds a certain particular type of way. So it's fun.
I liked it. When you dropped it on us, I was a little taken aback, but I really enjoyed it. It gives everyone has their character, and I think because we are a podcast, so that's where we have a lot of our fans are from. I think when you hear a voice, it kind of creates a new elevation in what's happening. Also, I know it's very difficult when you're dealing with a voice to have like sometimes when you have something happen and you're suddenly like, wait, what? You fall out of the voice and then you have to like jump back into the voice, and that's always I give credit to people who always do a voice, and I'm giving you a ton of credit for it. It's crazy. I love it. I think it's amazing, and I think there's gonna be that moment where you accidentally start to talk like Henny when you're not really supposed to be talking like Henny.
It's happened to me before when I've used voices. So it's one of those, you either stay in character or just leave it alone. So for me, it's like try to stay in character as much as possible. If I'm talking and I'm using something through Henny, that means Henny's talking. That means that the accent's gonna come out, mon ami, and you're gonna hear it no matter what I do, right? And it's hard to go back and forth, but it's like try and stick with it as best as you can. But I do appreciate the praise. I do appreciate the thanks, and it's fun. I know I'm gonna have a lot of fun doing it. It's gonna be a task, but I want to challenge myself and do something interesting.
Mm-hmm. So a question I've been asking everyone as we've been doing this, if Henny could have a cup of tea with any characters we've played with, right? From any of our other campaigns, even our home campaigns that we haven't aired to the public, who would that character be and kind of like why?
If I had to say off the top of my head who it would be, the first person that comes to mind is Balin. Right?
Balin.
Balin. Anybody that can hold their liquor like Balin could, right? And Balin just had like that. It was that weird stoic but funny at the same time. Like he's not funny on purpose. It's just all unintentional, just who he is, and there's comedy that just circles around him. I feel that even though he never really gambled for coin, he gambled with his life, and Henny could appreciate that type of like bravado. Anybody that dives headfirst into the fray and just like looks at shenanigans and says, "You know what? You and me, right now, we're going for it." He's gonna give a lot of respect and definitely wants to hear the stories and where he's been and what he's done and who he's been with, because we all know Balin was a ladies' man,
Yeah,
right?
there was no role for that one.
Yeah, there's no role for that, but he role played it well.
He did.
So I have to, if I had to choose any, buddy to like have a cup of tea with, that might have a little bit of scotch or some whiskey in it. Henny's gonna choose Balin.
Hot toddies for days with Balin.
Hot toddies all day long.
I like that answer. I like it a lot. So my next question to you is, when you were building Henny and you were coming to like this creation of Henny, right? I feel like Henny kind of stands out in a positive manner, also in a weird manner. So we have other characters who are very stoic, who are born to the cause, and that cause is in Wrath of the Righteous. You're going into the abyss, you're fighting demons, and then there's Henny. What drew Henny to this scenario? But obviously, you don't have to give every detail, but you could be like, "Oh, it's because of Henny's love for adventure, or Henny's like wants to make a name for themselves, or something of that manner." You don't have to go into great detail about it, only because we do want to draw our listeners in, give them a little taste, have them come back.
Henny gonna give him a little amuse bouche, little love for a little palate. You hear me, Chef? So for Henny, his motivation is, the short and sweet of it is Henny's dealt with devils and demons before in his past, right? And not just, the gambling demons or the devilish drink, like actual, devils and demons. And he has a vendetta against them. So anything to get him closer to his end goal, which is, there's somebody at the top, that owes Henny some coin, and he's gonna get it from him one way, shape, or form. And he always pays back his debts, but at the same time, if something's owed, Henny gonna take it, and that's his motivation for jumping into it. It's great that Henny kind of knows Zach's character, so it like was easy to like, wait a second, y'all working? We gonna figure this out? It just made sense to say, you know what? We're all going in the right direction, and it also seems to be the same direction.
Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is the demons will pay?
The demons gonna pay. They will always pay.
I like that. I like that a lot. It's kind of, I always think it's terrifying when the suave person gives you that, like, that statement where if you made the wrong choice, this is going to end poorly for everyone here. And I think
when a nice person gives you an ultimatum, you know something's wrong.
Yeah, that's where you made your first mistake. Speaking of knowing other characters, you said your character Henny knows Zach's character. Why don't you tell me, since we did the prequel, we did that like one shot very quickly. why don't you give me a rundown of Henny or / Fabio's thoughts on the other characters in the party? They don't have to be like long-winded thesis statements. It's just like, oh, I think Jeff's character is too stuck up. Like, fuck wizards, whatever. And then,
I mean,
you
like all wizards are stuck up, in my mind, right? In Henny's mind, he's okay with anybody that dabbles in a little magic as long as it keeps Henny safe. If they ain't messing with the table, if they ain't messing with the dice, Henny ain't got no problem, right? But as soon as one of his mon amis start doing a little bit shady, Henny either got to look the other way or Henny got to get involved, right? So looking at everybody else that I met so far, Tina's character, like, I just find hilarious because it was definitely Zach came at her a certain way, and then I came at her a certain way, and it was one of those, oh my god, not another one, right? Just somebody who's just super flamboyant and out there, and like you look at somebody either like Henny or like Zach's character, and you think like, what can they actually do in combat? And we're actually very capable hands. We have our skills, we have our our point to play and role to play in this game. So I had a fun like seeing Tina's character. She's the upfront, smash, stab, jack people up. It works for Tina, and at the same time, like her character just it falls in line with that. There's a little bit more than just the straight bruiser than she's letting on. And Henny's curious about that. He always likes a little secrecy and likes to know what's going on. Jeff always plays like his wizards in a certain type of way, which always feels like they're part rogue.
They're all
I don't
rogue.
care what anybody says. Jeff is a rogue.
He's
all
a rogue.
Day, every day. He goes to sleep, rogue. Wakes up, rogue. That's it. He's just a rogue with magic, right? That's it, right? But the thing is, every character is different. No matter how Jeff does it or what he does and brings to his character, there's always this uniqueness that kind of just makes him a little bit more interesting, gives him a little bit more flair, right? And I like that about the way that he plays. Even though it's stoic, you still see that like, oh, there's something up with that one. I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something's amiss, right? But in a good way. Gunner is always gonna be good. How can you fuck with Gunner, right? I don't know. I know how it happened, but I don't know how it happened, and it just flowed so well.
Yeah.
And I loved it, right? And it fits with Steve, where he's gonna play his character rough, angry, just ready to like hurt people and tear both their arms out their sockets if need be. And he's got that whole Two-Face thing going on. I like it.
Yeah.
And Zach, I'm not gonna lie. When I started talking and seeing Zach's character, the first image that popped into my mind was, you ever see that movie El Dorado?
Yes.
Right? And you have like the two guys talking back and forth. Right? I'm like, oh, this is freaking El Dorado. This is, and I look at Zach, and Zach was like, oh, you got it? You got it? I got it. Yeah, we got it. Right? And I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. Right? And the fact that we already knew each other from like past adventures and stuff like that just made it just go, oh, this is going to be an easy kinship. Everybody's going to kind of like work or gel together in a type of way. And I'm excited for it.
I too am excited. You know what the common thread that I've noticed when talking to everyone is everyone's really excited to play. And it's that like legitimate excitement. Like everyone's like, oh man, I really want to play this character. I'm excited for when we play. I'm excited to get out there and then show the world my character. I'm excited to see where Henny goes. And I'm super excited because I know we're working on creating more for Henny. Because if you don't know, now you know, but Henny's character is dramatically like Gambit because Fabio chose the worst stance in Swashbuckler ever. So no shade, but if you're playing Swashbuckler, there's an ability that you could get where you toss playing cards as daggers. The problem is they're D4s and they have a range of 10 feet. And that's all that class gets. It doesn't change. There's no additional class like feats for it. Once you get that one, that's it. Like it stops. And then Fabio was like, I really want to play with the cards. I have I believe you spent all your money on that Harrower set of cards for your character, and you were like, my dude's broke because I bought the fanciest set of cards and all I can do is toss them. So we are working diligently on creating more for Henny, and I think that's gonna make more of this character shine. I totally forgot you had a staff, and I was like, oh, he has a staff. He has a martial weapon. And I was like, I don't think he's ever going to use it. I feel like I should start dropping like really powerful staves and no magical playing cards just to mess with you.
Like, mother. I already feel like that's going to happen, so I'm not worried. I'm like, you know what? I need a backup weapon just in case. Stab. Give me a stick. Big ass stick. But yeah, like, so the whole thing with, like I was saying, like during the creation process, I was thinking about Gambit, and I did a lot of like research on like Gambit and how he plays, and I looked at different people that actually threw cards, or like whether a TikTok or IG or YouTube videos, and I even looked at like other characters like within like lore and other like games and stuff like that, and I found out this other character, Twisted Fate, right? He's in League of Legends, and it was like there were so many close parallels with. You're a gambler. You play with cards. You're nasty with throwing them. You can use them as daggers. You can use them as darts. So when I looked at the actual stance, like the Forberry stance, where it lets you do that, I was like, oh, that's cool. What else does it do? That's it. You can chuck these cards. Do they do anything else? Yeah, they count as darts or daggers. All right. What else? That's it. I'm like, no. We got to add a little bit more to this. We have to do something where at least makes it a little bit more substantial. And we're figuring it out. So this will be a little bit of a homebrew that we're going to add to it. So we'll see what happens. But the reason why I did that is I felt like it would all end up into like rolling into a story. A lot of characters that I end up playing, I do this whole min max thing. If anybody's seen any of our other videos, when we do our dives where Steve's make a character and I make a character, we try to break the crap out of the game. And then Jared talks to us out there and says, you can't play this character. Okay, just don't bring him into the actual game. Right? This is me actually making a character that's not broken, right? And trying to find a way to make him work. There are a lot of charisma like moves that he can do or charisma skills that he has and options for that I know that not a lot of people use often or feel like, intimidates this and deceptions that and persuasions this. I'm like, you know what? Let me pick these up and actually see if we can use them in role playing as well as combat. Let's see how effective they actually are on the battlefield. Because I've used them individually with other characters, but I'm like, you know what? Let me make a character that does it all in that particular category and see like how far it goes. Is it something that's definitely viable? Or is it something that's like great for RP and it's subpar in combat? So it's me trying to find that mix and match to see what works best and what works for me without playing something that's broken.
I feel like this character is gonna get broken sooner or later.
Oh, of course, you know me very well, bro. That's what I do.
I feel it coming in my bones.
It's what I do, and I do it well.
In my bones, I feel it. I'm gonna give you like whack stuff. Be like, all right, you get this one card. What can you do? It could turn into 2 cards. But
that's all I need. That's all I need. That's literally all I need. Let me get that. Let me get that.
You know,
now you're like, why'd I say that? No,
I fucked up somewhere. Damn. Speaking of your character, and I don't know if you know this, but in Pathfinder, in their lore, there are demons and daemons. They both come from the abyss, right? So they're both from the abyss. And they have the way they're created are in 2 separate fashions. So one is created through one of these 7 deadly sins. What would be Henny's deadly sin?
Greed.
Greed?
Greed all day long.
Wow.
Okay. Right? And it was a toss up, and it was funny because we had a conversation, and it was, I don't know if you were actually there for this conversation. We were all talking about like our vices. Right, and Henny's vice is gambling, right? So it just falls in line with the character type. Guy with cards, gambler, makes sense that his vice is going to be gambling, right? So it would definitely be greed. And it's not greed to the point where it's like, oh, I gotta save my friends, or there's a trunk full of gold over there. This is gonna be a hard maneuver. I mean, it'll be difficult, but at the same time, and he has, his priorities. But when it comes down to it, he's a gambler. He's a guy that will put it all on the line. He will put his physical self on the line.
Mm.
Whether it's for flair, whether it's to show everybody who truly Henny is in a situation. Right? And doing that and getting the attention. He craves the attention. He loves the high life. He loves living lavishly. He loves wearing things that just make him look a little bit more worth more than he actually is. Right. And yeah, if I have to pick it, it's definitely gonna be greed.
It's all agreed, baby.
It's all greed. Greed will get you everything.
I like that. And in closing, what would you say would be your hope for your character?
I have to say it's definitely his end goal. Right. When it comes down to certain things, that Henny is just, with it, he loves to have fun, he loves to joke, he loves to be in a situation where he gets to shine, because that's all a swashbuckler can do. Like, let me be in the forefront, let me be the flashiest person in the room, right? But getting that final goal where where he gets what's owed, where he truly feels that he gets vindicated in knowing that what happened in his past was part of his past, but he will get equal recompense for whatever happened. I feel like that's the thing that, Henny is just still guided towards. No matter how much fun he'll have some fun as long as it'll bring him towards his goal.
Oh, interesting. Well, with that, hopefully Henny can maybe reach his goal, but who knows? So you're going to have to tune in every Wednesday at about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Twitch channel when we do our live play of Wrath of the Righteous, where you can see Fabio ham it up as Henny, the swashbuckling Frenchie. I'm calling him Frenchie from now on, from the boys. You can find us there at so if you go on Twitch, you can look for us at NVNG. You can find us on all of our socials, which are at NVNG Podcast, or you could go to our website and catch back episodes, which are at nvngpodcast.com. And every Monday, if you can't be there live, you could check out our podcast every Monday, and that's on our website or on all podcast platforms such as Spotify and Podbean, Apple Podcast. So from all of us here at Nothing Venture, Nothing Game, I want to say have a good day, good morning, or good evening. Say goodbye, Fabio.
Goodbye, Fabio.
Bye.